boy, so you want to build the absolute monster that is Diluc. You've come to the right place. My Diluc is ridiculously strong, but keep in mind, once again, I have to do this disclaimer every video. I am an absolute whale! But this video will be friendly to whales, little dolphins, and free-to-play players. All together, I will talk about every single thing possible. Now, to show you just how strong my Diluc is, which is my main character, how strong he is with this team, just check this out. Oh, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. All right, well, Diluc, when it comes to his skills, he's a pretty straightforward character. There's not much to talk about, so I'm not going to waste your time. Basically, you already know what he does. His E does a sword slash infused with pyro. And you can do it 3 times before there's a smoke cooldown. Usually, the way you want to do it, you never want to attack 3 times in a row with it. You want to use his E. Oh, they're already dead. Then you do the 2 normal slash or 1. You use his E again, normal slash. You use his E again and normal slash. That's usually the way you want to go about it. Just like this. E, normal attack, E, normal attack, and E again, normal attack. That's usually how you want to use Diluc's E. Now, I usually only do 1 normal attack, but it's because I have a C6 Diluc. Yes, please shut up in the comments. Yes, I am in debt. Yes, shut up. So the C4 makes it so when you use the E, after 2 seconds, if you use it again, you will output 40% more damage. And I'm just scared of not being able to do it if I do 2 normal slashes. And from what I noticed, that's usually what happens. So I only do 1 more normal damage after my E. However, the C6 makes it so that the next 2 normal attacks after the E will have more damage and attack speed. However, I still only use 1. Our boy's ultimate, our boy's Q, Elemental Burst, very easy done. Do I even need to show it? It's the Phoenix. Does an insane amount of damage. Oh, hello. And it infuses your sword with pyro, which is absolutely great and very crucial to how you're supposed to play Diluc. We will get into that once we talk about artifacts in this video. All right, so let's talk about Diluc's weapon. Pretty simple, honestly, pretty straightforward. So, if you are a whale, like I am, yes, I know, don't even talk about my weapons in the comment section. If you're a whale, you definitely want to go for Wolf's Gravestone. Or if you're just lucky and you have Wolf's Gravestone, definitely go for it. Even on R1, it is the best weapon for Diluc. As you can see, I have an R5 and an extra 3 because I got unlucky. First of all, Wolf's Gravestone, based on attack, very important. It's amazing. And the passive, well, since I have R5, my attack is permanently increased by 40% on hit with opponents with less than 30% of their HP. When they get hit, it increases all party members' attack by 80% for 12 seconds. It is insane. But even on an R1, it's 20% and 40%. It is the best weapon for Diluc, hands down. I have seen some people using Skyward Pride, and I think it's kind of a waste of a stat. Energy recharge is not needed on Diluc, especially if he's well built artifacts wise. Now the effect is good, but I am not a fan of this weapon for Diluc. All right, free-to-play players or unlucky people, the best 4-star weapon, the best non-whale weapon for your boy Diluc would obviously be Old Merc's POW. It is just the... No, the best weapon is obviously the prototype Archaic. It is insane for Diluc, actually, for a free-to-play weapon. It is very good. Attack stat on the weapon, just like Wolf's Gravestone, and the effect is just very nice. On hit, normal or charged attacks have a 50% chance to deal an additional 300% attack damage to opponents with a small AoE every 15 seconds. It is very nice, honestly. Now, I have an R2 on it because when I started playing the game, I wasn't a whale yet. Oh, the good days. But definitely, in my opinion, I've seen all sorts of builds, other weapons that go really well with him, but in my opinion, in my experience even, I think the Prototype Archaic is the best weapon on it. I've seen people using the Favonius Greatsword. Honestly, no. Energy recharge as a stat and bonus, just no. No. Before we get into artifacts, we can quickly talk about the Constellation. I know that Constellations on Diluc are not, popular, as he's a very difficult character to get, but we're gonna quickly go through it. C1, amazing. Probably the most important when you consider, money. 15% more damage to opponents whose HP is above 50%. That is very helpful and synergizes really well, actually, with the weapon. This makes it so you deal more damage for opponents that have more than 50% health, and when the opponents have 30% or less health, that's when the Wolf's Gravestone comes into effect to deal more damage as well. Very good synergy. C2 is absolutely bonkers, which is surprising for a C2. When you take damage, your speed and attack will be increased, and it can stack up to 3 times. It is insane, and I can showcase it to you guys how much more DPS you can get out of this. C3 and C5, we don't talk about it as usual. It's amazing, but it's always the same. So we already talked about C4. When you use your E, your next one will deal 40% more damage. It is unbelievable. C6 makes it so when you use your E, your next 2 normal attacks will have more damage and more speed. And something that's actually very important, you will not interrupt your combo, your normal attack combo, which is surprisingly a great thing. Enough about Constellations. Let's get into the artifacts. Now, I'm not even really gonna talk about talents that much. It's pretty straightforward. You want to up your E first because it is the most crucial part of Diluc. Then you want to up your Q. And of course, your normal attack. You usually want to up them all. As you can see, I have crowned my Diluc on the E. It is just insane. So artifacts, there is no debate here. Crimson Witch of Flames is the only set you need on him. The 4-piece set, it is just bonkers. It is clearly made for Diluc. So 2-piece set, pyro damage increase. 4-piece set, it will increase vaporize and melt. It will increase burning damage as well. Using your E will up the pyro damage bonus. Except that with Diluc, you can use your E 3 times. What does this mean? Well, look at this. My pyro damage bonus is 61% right now. I use my E 3 times. I go back to it. Would you look at that? It's 84% now. Now, you're not supposed to use your E 3 times. What it does is just you use your E, you do your normal attack, you use your E again, and it will keep your pyro damage bonus for basically the whole duration of the combat, since you will always be doing that. Who wants to fight me? Hello? Oh boy. Now, I have seen other people saying, yeah, you can use the 2 set and then use a gladiator or something else. Just no. In the beginning, maybe if you don't have a good 4-piece set, but you want to go for the 4-piece set. Definitely. Now, to talk about the substats, very important. My artifacts on Diluc are amazing. Some of them are not perfect yet, but I will get to it one day. Mark my words. Do I even need to say it? You want to get crit rate, crit damage. Period. Crit rate, crit damage, crit rate, crit damage. For your goblet, you want pyro damage. For your sands, you want attack percent. And for your circlet, you want crit rate or crit damage. I went with crit damage since I already have a lot of crit rate, and it works really well for me. That just depends on your build. Now, as you can see, my flower has a good crit rate, crit damage. I want a lot more, so I will be working on that. My my plume is already really good. I have 22.5% crit rate, crit damage, and 7% crit rate. I do want better, but I might be asking a bit too much here. My sands is okay, 10 and 10. I want more, but it's acceptable. Definitely. Now, pyro damage, I've seen people say, yeah, attack percent is good. Sure, but you will be missing out on so much damage. The point of Diluc, his whole gameplay, is trying to get as much pyro damage out. Your Q infuses your blade with pyro damage. which means that you want pyro damage bonus. So I have good crit rate and crit damage. I do want better. The one I don't like is my circlet. I have the crit damage main stat. That's very good. However, I only have 7% crit rate on it. I was not lucky. I need a better circlet. That is the one artifact that I do not like on my Diluc. As for global stats, why am I on 3k attack right now? I'm not actually sure. I probably, maybe because I did my E's or something. I'm usually at 2.8k or 2.7k. So as for crit rate, crit damage, I have 72%, 165, which is a good ratio, but ideally, now, hold on to your chair. What I'm going for is for an 80% crit rate and 200% crit damage, because this is my main, and I'm dealing constantly more than 100k damage on my Q. I want more damage! But don't worry, if you have something like this, you are golden. You usually want to always get the double crit damage than your crit rate, and we're clearly in there. It's very good. So that's it for artifacts. It's very straightforward. It's very straightforward. Now, to talk about team composition, this is a bit more complicated, but honestly, I am not strict when it comes to team composition. A lot of people are like, yeah, you need to do this and this and this. It depends on your game style. You want to have fun ultimately in the game. You don't want to put characters that you don't like and that you hate in your team just to get the more damage out. I feel like that is a pretty stupid way to play a game, but that's my own opinion. If you don't care at all and you just want damage and you don't care about having characters you hate, then we're gonna talk about it. My team right now is Diluc, Venti, Bennett, and Mona. I've changed it only recently because I'm trying out something. My previous team did not have Mona. It had Xingqiu in it, and I would suggest anyone who begins or people who don't necessarily have Mona, you should go for Xingqiu. People say that he's the best in a team for Diluc. I'm trying out Mona because I have a C5 Mona, and she helps Diluc deal more damage thanks to her Q. I'm trying out, and I'm loving her. Let's get to it. So, first things first, Bennett. You want a Bennett with your Diluc. That is pretty much out of the question to not put a Bennett, quite honestly. Now, I do have a C6 Bennett. A lot of people say that it's not good, but in my case, since I'm using him purely with Diluc, the C6 actually helps output more pyro damage. As you can see, anyone within his Q gets pyro damage on their weapon. And since the whole strategy with Diluc is to always have pyro to take advantage of all the pyro bonuses, this is good to keep a higher uptime of pyro. Now, we're gonna talk about Bennett in a different video, but basically you can base your Bennett either on attack on HP if you want healing or attack bonus. Right now, I based him purely on attack, which basically means when Bennett's Q is active, my Diluc almost has 5,000 attack. But you usually want to have a mix between HP and attack. But that's for a different video. Now, you have a lot of possibilities for Diluc. You should normally always have either one Hydro character in your team, or one Electro character, or one Cryo character. Now, what I had in the early game is Hydro and Cryo. With Bennett, of course, Bennett, you cannot remove him from the team. He's a must-have. And all three work really well, honestly. Basically, the reason why you want it, and you should know this by now, is when you infuse a character with Hydro, Cryo, or Electro, you're proccing Vaporize, as you can see, and you deal a lot more damage. If you do Cryo, you're gonna have Melt, and if you do Electro, you are going to have Overload. All right, these Hydro slimes, dude, I swear to God. All right. As you can see, since they are slimes, they already have the Hydro element, so we are proccing Vaporize automatically on them. Now onto the spicy. My humble opinion, especially if you're not a whale, if you're just starting, the best team comp would be having a Diluc, a Bennett, a Xingqiu for the Hydro. Xingqiu is just an amazing character for Diluc. and a cryo character. I used to use Chongyun because I love Chongyun, but you can use Kaya, for example. I think Kaya is actually better than Chongyun for a Diluc team comp. But again, my specialty is not forcing people to play with characters they don't want to. You can pick really any team composition as long as you have Bennett. That is that is out of the question. You need Bennett, and then you can use Hydro, Electro, Cryo, a mix of Hydro and Cryo to freeze and melt. That's pretty good. However, with Bennett, since he has a Claymore, he would break the freeze. So that's debatable. So that's it for the Diluc guide. Now, again, I know I have a C6, but you really don't need a C6 to be an absolute monster with Diluc. Well, that's it. Goodbye, guys. Remember, don't go in debt like I did.